All right, guys, my hair is a wreck, but I am determined to not cut my hair until we can go racing. This is Rona hair. So, all right, I didn't really do a whole lot this week. As I mentioned, I think in one of the other videos, I ordered most of my parts for the Bonneville over the weekend. Everything is available through Rock Auto, so I got my electric fence coming in. My brake booster came in. I have to swing by the shop tomorrow and pick that up. It's been sitting on my toolbox all week. It came in like Tuesday. Finnegan, what are you doing over there? So that came in. Finnegan. Sorry, my dog's being all about our fishing poles back there. Last thing I want is for him to get hooked. So, well, not hooked on fishing, but hooked on the hook. So, I got spark plug wires. I wanted to keep that like OE look, so I went with 8mm AC Delco plug wires. I got two 12-inch electric fans from Hayden. They're actually really affordable. We'll see how well they work. If not, I do have a backup setup, but I wanted to try something that I can fab with a little bit easier than the OE units that I typically find. So I figured I splurged and I bought two fans for about $90, which was a really good deal. I think this weekend, what I'm going to be doing is probably putting on the brake booster. I'm going to run my wiring. I have to place my order tonight. I'm doing a curbside pickup tomorrow at the local Farm and Fleet. They have a bunch of spools of wires. I just have to pick the colors that I want and the gauge I want. So I have to do that. And at the same time when I wire that, I'm going to go ahead and toss in the rev limiter on the olds. I've been meaning to put it on. This is really basic to install. I got to grab all my wiring stuff at the shop. It's been at the shop since I wired up the engine run stand for that Ford I was building. And really, I didn't do a whole lot this week. A lot going on personally. So I did come out here last night. I put the eyebrow moldings back on the olds. They haven't been on in a while. And actually, I'm really happy about that. It's the dumbest little fucking thing, but it's complete and it looks great. So, where the hell's my prop rod? Right.
Babe, I really don't think I've ever seen these on your car since we've been together.
No, they've been on there. They were on there when we had the black buttons on there.
Well, that was like 20 years ago.
That sounded like crunchy. Alright, so I'm using this for a prop rod at the moment. But another thing I want to talk about is, so now that I got this hood with a bunch more clearance, I can actually run a full height air cleaner, and it isn't even hitting the stud. So I'm going to try to stuff a velocity stack underneath the air pan so that we can try to make a little bit more power through straightening out the airflow into the car. And I'm going to be obviously putting my my rev limiter. That's going to go inside the car, not under the hood. I don't like electronics under the hood. They get hot. Heat equals resistance. Functions. They can get wet. Whenever I see an MSD under the hood of a car, it's like, why? I know they're sealed, but just put them find a spot under the dash or something, keep it dry. It gets hot under the hood. Heat equals resistance. Don't care. So, either way, that's just my opinion. So, during the week, I took the carburetor off the Bonneville, actually took it to work. And I was working on my Boss's 67 Camaro, doing a bunch of tuning, transmission, timing, carburetor. So it had a 1406 Edelbrock. I took my 1405 on there to rule out some ignition issues that I thought could have been it, to zero in. That's the nice thing, I got spares I can use. So I took mine, put it on the car, drove it after spending most of the day tweaking it and getting it just right. And I ended up going through his 1406 and finding an issue. But the 1406 that I have for parts needs a rebuild. And it's a good carburetor. It ran. I gave it to the guy at work. He let it sit. Didn't want to do anything with it. So I took it back. And of course it's junk now because it sat with a little bit of fuel in it. So I have to go through it and clean it. That one's actually been sitting, but it did run. But I bought a rebuild kit. Maybe we'll do a video on that, on the 1405, 1406 Edelbrocks. It's the most hated reliable carburetor out there. I really like the Edelbrock. It's a great street carb. I think it's a little misunderstood because people tune the wrong thing, and I'll explain why. And there's a lot of little things that people, again, in the other video I was talking about knowing carb circuitry, and once you kind of understand what the circuits and how they work and how some carburetor circuits work individually, and they're just aids for transitional reasons, like accelerator pumps just cure a possible lean issue between idle to power or cruise. And in the Edelbrock, they have a secondary discharge nozzle to cure a possible. So it pretty much has like a secondary, like a Holley, a double pumper would have two accelerator pumps. So the accelerator pump on the secondary side is there to cure a possible lean spot during that transition when the secondary is open. Well, on the Edelbrocks, they have two little ports that shoot fuel when the secondaries start to kick on. And that's to cure that. So again, people, I think it's a little misunderstood because it's just a carburetor that people buy and they don't take the time to study it. And I mean, it's a great carburetor. Chrysler put that style of carburetor on a shit ton of things. There's no such thing as a bad carburetor. There's just bad tuning. And I've learned that. It took me a while to learn a lot of things, but once I actually dove in and broke out of my mentality a little bit and approached it differently, I learned a lot. So either way, that's what we got going on. Hopefully we can get some stuff done on the Bonneville, put the exhaust on it, put some fluids in it. This is going to need an oil change. I think my Suburban and my wife's Saturn's going to need an oil change. So it's going to be kind of a busy weekend. We're just going to kind of stick around the house and, and doing like 3 oil changes and adding fluids to the Bonneville. That should be fun. And putting the exhaust back on. And even though I need a haircut, I'm just going to stick it out. And we're going to just hang out here and get as much done as we can. You can see my lovely acquirement of wheels and tires are not holding air on the one side. And but I know that side must have sat flat for a while because it's actually got some rust on the bead. So when those tires get popped off, I have to clean the bead. There's no doubt about it. This one's starting to leak. But again, I just wanted to get the car back on the ground. And tires at this point are going to be the last thing. 2 front tires are still on back order from Coker, and I won't be seeing them until June. I'm going to try to get some good used tires just to cruise around the street, but before we race, I'm going to swap out to the new 205 75-15s I got. And I am going to buy 275-60-15 drag radials for the rear. I do want drag radials because I kind of got tired of swapping tires at the track, so I'm trying to avoid that. But once I get everything squared away, fluids are in, my brake system's going to be done. We're going to measure for a drive shaft, and I'm going to order a drive shaft for it. And I'm going to go ahead and also order a drive shaft safety loop. Or I might make one. I don't know. I'm much more confident in my fabricating skills probably since I did the drive shaft safety loop on the olds. I pretty much cut up a universal kit, and I cut it to shit and made it my own. But I can make it probably a little cheaper, but it's a $20 kit. But in order to make it fit right, there's a lot of cutting involved, and you need to weld it. And most people would just install and bolting it up, but I wasn't happy with that. I wanted it nice, tight, and clean. But little things like that. So we're on the tail end of things here, and hopefully I'll get my wiring done this weekend, and we'll be one step closer with the wiring and the booster in place, the exhaust and fluids topped off for the most part. I still have to make brackets for the radiator and a holder, so we got a couple things to keep us busy. I think most of Saturday is going to be on this, and then on Sunday we'll do our oil changes and all this other shit. So on that note, guys, this is just kind of a little update. Thanks for watching, subscribing. Hope you guys are enjoying some of our content. I'm not trying to bore you guys. I'm trying to do stuff that I can actually work on. I'm not trying to create a carnival show here. Some of these pages that I follow lately have gotten really, really lame in their attempts to keep viewers, and it's kind of a shit show if you ask me. But let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe. Again, thanks for watching.